This Veterans Day, the story of World War I and the generation who lived it come to life with soaring music, rare film, and Broadway's finest voices. It's a sweeping journey of courage, sacrifice, and honor. A living documentary. It's a chance to remember American Heart in World War I, a Carnegie Hall Tribute.
Hi, John. Good morning, and thank you for joining me to talk about American Heart in World War I, a Carnegie Hall Tribute for this November 11th, Veterans Day. Thank you for joining me.
Hello. Great to be here.
Now, John, would you say World War I is the most misunderstood war for Americans?
I think the problem is it's not even misunderstood. It's not known. Compared to World War II, we've lost that connectivity to it, but we live with it every day. And, one way that I try to reconnect people to World War I is with The Great Gatsby, which, Nick the narrator was a veteran. Gatsby was a veteran, and I try to bring people into World War I because we have so much connectivity with it, including Veterans Day. Veterans Day came right out of World War I. I think people understand that it was a moment when America started to emerge as a world power, but that's about it. So there's a lot to be done. There are many Americans, of course, especially families of veterans, that know all about World War I, and they've encouraged me to do the story.
Your Veterans Day special is a living documentary. What does that entail?
Well, we refer to it as a living documentary because we bring so much emotional elements into the story. It starts with a story. There's 5 figures that really focus on, including James Reese Europe, the great jazz musician that goes over and is in the trenches and brings his band over there. Quentin Roosevelt, the 19-year-old son of Theodore Roosevelt, has this wonderful love affair with Flora Payne Whitney. Charles Whittlesey, who led the Lost Battalion in the Argonne Forest. And these figures move together in the story. So it starts with those figures and goes forward.
Do you have a favorite real-life figure from your special?
It's tough, but I think you have to zero in on Charles Whittlesey. Gatsby War Record is modeled after Charles Whittlesey. You can understand a little bit more about what Fitzgerald is referring to at the end of the novel when you hear the story and you realize it's the story of Charles Whittlesey, because Whittlesey led, this guy that was never meant for war, went to Williams College, didn't know what he wanted to do, went to Harvard Law School, and ends up in the middle of the Argonne Forest with a battalion and surrounded by the Germans. And what happens is an incredible story of American will and American heart. That's why we call the production American Heart. I think I focus on him, but the other figures like James Reese Europe and Quentin are hard to even grasp. Their stories are so broad and so big. I did go over to the trenches. I went in December. Don't go in December. It's too cold. But what did I know? I didn't know any better. I took my son with me. He was a little surprised too. And we went to where Quentin crashed. It's a hill, up a steep hill. And we slogged through the mud, and we stood on top of that hill and looked at the little town below. And that's the same hill his mother came to at the end of the war and got down on her knees and said the Lord's Prayer. And when you hear music and you experience that event, it gets you closer to what the sacrifices that were made in this war and made every day by our veterans.
Who are some of the performers for the evening?
So first I should mention this was filmed for PBS by Oscar winner John Kamen. He won the Oscar for Somersault, and he filmed Hamilton as well. Directed by Tony Award winner Michael Mayer. Amazing productions. The performers You have Gracie McGraw, who plays Flora playing Whitney, Nicholas Christopher, who's James Reese Europe. He was George Washington and Hamilton, doing an amazing performance in Chess. They're all amazing, but Diego Rodriguez, who plays Quentin, has a moment in the show where he does a song that first was written by Irving Berlin in World War I. We only know it as a World War II song, but it's called God Bless America. And if you watch the show and you can only watch it for one thing, watch Diego sing God Bless America. It will capture you almost by surprise. It's so beautiful, so subtle, so quiet, but so vigorous that you'll say, I've never seen anything like it. The performers knock the ball out of the park with the jazz music of James Reese Europe, Ballin' in the Jack, Clef Club March, No Man's Land Is All of Ours. Incredible. But what moves me the most is two songs that are about the heart. One called Only Remembered, which was a hymn from the 1800s, later brought into War Horse, and another one called It's a Long, Long Trail.
What should Americans remember most about World War I?
Two things. One, it was an effort to preserve democracy, but more importantly, this concept, which Fitzgerald talked about. He said France was a land, England was a people, but America, still having a quality of an idea, was harder to utter. It was the boys dying in the Argonne, the graves at Shiloh. It was a willingness of the heart. And this was a moment when all Americans stepped up, 2 million Americans, to do something right for the world. And I'll leave you with this. At the end of World War I, the United States took no territory. It simply took leases for 9 cemeteries for American dead. That's what America's about. We're a country of principle. We want to do good. It's not a political thing. It's a core value that all of us share. And I think you see that in this story, this willingness of the heart.
All right, John, finally today, how do you get to Carnegie Hall?
Well, Carnegie, I can't tell you how to get to Carnegie Hall. I hear it's practice, 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 but I started doing these little productions for my kids. I have 4 kids. On Flag Day, my wife would play the piano, and a long story, but eventually they got brought to Carnegie Hall. This production will be on Veterans Day, the evening of Veterans Day on PBS. It's a remarkable thing that we could bring it to PBS and film it in PBS. There were veterans across the country. There were good Americans. There were people like Ken Griffin that really stepped up to help us get this on PBS. They said it can't just be with one live audience. Others need to see it. And John Kamen did a terrific job with the film. It's transformative, and I hope everyone enjoys it.
John, thank you so much. Good luck with the special and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you for having me.